Hey everyone, welcome to this week's show. With me this week, I have GM of Team Rocket, Kyle. He is also, just so no one forgets, the current owner of the Caucasaurus. Um, and of course, your host, as always, your commissioner and champion, Team Ramrod. Um, a lot of the same old stuff to talk about, so I guess let's get into it. Team Ramrod suffered a really close loss against Forgot About Dre. This is a battle for first place, a lot on the line, and man, it didn't disappoint. It was a good matchup all week. What happened here, Kyle?
We have two elite teams battling it out, and the result is a very close match. That could have went either way. You guys were tied in goalie wins, tied in shots on goal. You're down by one GWG. Things were just super tight. Could have went either way, and they fell in favor of the person in first place, Dre. But overall, a good match, and on another week we might get a different result.
I we went into yesterday's matchup. I was up by one goal. He was up by one assist. And my guy scored a bunch yesterday. His guys got a lot of assists yesterday. We just it didn't go the other way. A shorthanded point in the week for him. It was really close. He got that last game winning goal yesterday in the Minnesota game. I was looking good through two periods in the Anaheim game as the guy I picked up had two goals and they were up 2-0, and then they just blew it. So could have went either way. But it was a good week. Good on Nick for getting the win. Team Ramrod will bounce back this week. He knows he has a lot of dead roster spots, and now it's time to act on them. I could get by the first 15 weeks without them, but now we're into serious time here. I'm contending. I'm gonna make good on my roster here, make some changes. So I look forward to seeing what my team looks like in a few weeks. But congrats, Nick. You're in first place through one round through everyone. Only three losses. Pretty impressive, right? Um, Tage against the Machine. Now 10-5 after defeating Team Rocket. Tage jumping in the second place because he has more wins. I didn't lose five times though, so just saying that. What happened here against TVT, buddy?
Oh, I mean, it was just a good old fashioned pounding, and without the courtesy of a reach round. I mean, Travis's goalies came out hot. He had 6 wins. He had about a 2 GAA, a great save percentage. Um, Edmonton is on a 13-game winning streak, so he's riding that winning streak like crazy. I don't think it's like this is gonna be sustainable for him long term, but enjoy the ride while it lasts for sure. One of my top goalies is out, so that hurt me. Um, and then yeah, you got me on a lot of categories like power play points, shorthanded, game winners, shots on goal. I actually outscored his team, but that was pretty well it. That's where my points came from, strangely enough. But I expected Travis to win. Good for Travis. Goes in the second place, and yeah, Travis has a tough team.
Now going back to what you're saying, like about his goaltending, like there's no way Rittich holds on to that starting job. All of a sudden, like they're giving him all these starts, right? So he's riding a hot backup right now. But LA is gonna give the ball back to Talbot at one point. You're not gonna give it to this guy who just came up from the minors a few weeks ago, and um,
Yeah,
so he's riding it right now. But after that, like he has the Edmonton goalie, but that Edmonton goalie has been so inconsistent. Lately, he's been good, but we all remember the start of the year. So
oh yeah, what a mess. I mean, like right now, Edmonton is absolutely brilliant, but yeah, does Skinner stay this way? I doubt it, but if he does, good for Travis.
yeah, no, good. Good for Travis. He's actually doing well for once. I'm not going to kick him a little bit there, so I'll give him a break for a few weeks till he starts really. I know we played. I think me and Travis we play the last week of the season too, so that'll be a fun one. Shane's bitch. I love that he still has that name. We're Monday. He has
Yeah,
not changed it. What a guy! What a guy! He just loves being Shane's bitch. Um, Well, he moved up to 7-8 now in 10th place after, dousing the dumpster fire a little bit here. 6-7-2 in 12th place. What happened here?
Yeah, his goalies took a big piss in that dumpster fire. He took all 5 goalie categories, 5 wins, 2 shutouts, 191 saves, just absolutely killed it. Took a couple player categories, and that was enough for the win.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are both teams that were struggling. You can see in the record 7-8, 6-7-2. Neither of them are above 500. So this was a big game for both of them. They both needed this win really to avoid being sellers. And I think Mark's just one step closer to. I mean, he already did declare himself a seller at the start of the year, but I think he'll open up business again soon. I do like his approach though. He's looking for young players who can help him long term, right?
Yeah,
So he's not just looking for draft picks. He's looking for guys that can help him. And I think that's the right thing to do in his scenario. Uh, Sean has delusions that he'll make the playoffs, so we'll keep his hopes alive a little bit. But I can't wait till you don't make it, Sean. I mean, Shane's bitch.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a tough race, that's for sure.
Speaking of that playoff race right here, Captain Crunch, 8-7 now in 7th place after defeating the NA goalie paradise. We Just Suck is gone, and they are back to the NA goalie paradise. 6-9 in 14th place. What happened here?
I mean, for guys in NA goalie paradise, he got most of his points off of his goalies this week. 2 shutouts, 4 wins, a 1.48 GAA, a 944 save percentage. His goaltending is looking pretty good for this guy. And I mean, Domo here, Captain Crunch, he just dominated the player categories, and that's pretty well the big story here.
Domo, right? Like he's got no picks left to move, so he's slowed down on the moves. We'll see when we get to the trades. There was only one trade since our last episode, and that
Oh,
was it.
like an actual trade
As a
or like
whole. As a whole, even
yeah,
ad drops, there weren't really any ad drop move this week
crazy.
because everyone's on the fence, right? Am I going to invest in an ad drop if I'm going to be selling soon? Probably not.
No, probably not.
I think the ad drops, you might see a little bit of movement still there, but I think those days are dying now because we're so late into the season. But there's only one trade, and no surprise, it involved Domo. We'll get to that in a bit, though. Big win for Domo, keeping his playoff hopes alive. He's just got to go another 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 7 weeks, another 7 weeks, and then hopefully for him, hopefully he's still in a playoff spot at the end of those 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Daltrey 7-8, the enigma that is Daltrey, defeats Dan, who is 9-6. It's like Daltrey decides when he wants to show up
Yeah.
and play. And this week he felt like it. He took it personally when we called him out last week about what Daltrey we were going to get. He set his lineup for a week. Will he do it 2 weeks in
Wow.
a row? I don't know. What happened here?
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't do it for 3 weeks in a row because I play him on that third week. So Daltrey, don't say your lineup. Um, yeah, I mean, like Daltrey has an outstanding team. Like he's ninth place, but he should be like fourth place at the very least. With some of the weeks he's blown by not setting his lineup. 23 goals, 22 assists, 153 shots on goal, 153. You kidding me? A 925 save percentage, 226 GAA. I mean, those are tough numbers to beat, and Daltrey is a tough team to beat when he actually tries.
If only he was consistent. I know we were talking about it earlier, and you said something that really shocked me. You thought he was one of the top 5 teams in the league. You consider him elite.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll back that up. Like, if you just look at he has an elite lineup. It's just that Daltrey's not an elite GM.
Daltrey, if you're watching, which I don't think you are, you heard it right from him. Kyle believes in you, buddy. Kind of
Actually, I
you,
don't know.
your
I don't
team.
know
He
if
doesn't
I've been
believe in
in.
you.
I believe in his team, not in the
Yeah.
GM. Love you, Daltrey.
The Braden bye week lives on. Sorokin D's nuts, 8-6-1 in 6th place after taking down Braden, 0-14-1. Big matchup here. It's too bad he didn't have the Braden bye week this week while he was in Jamaica. He could have just put his phone away and not worry about it. Instead, no, while preparing for his trip, he has an easy week, and who knows what this week looks like for him. But what happened here?
Braden bye week. Neil had a pretty average week, which is more than good enough to beat Braden. But unsurprisingly, well, not unsurprisingly, but Braden got 2 of his points on goaltending statistics, just showcasing that Neil is still struggling at goaltending this year. Hopefully, with the addition of Patrick Roy as coach of the Islanders, Neil will start to see some benefit goaltending wise from Sorokin.
I don't really think it's Sorokin's fault. The Islanders were just such a defensive team forever, and they're kind of trying to be more offensive, right? So something's got to give there. You're not going to be elite defense and elite offense, like it's rare.
Yeah.
So something's got to give a little bit. So they're trying a different style. Hopefully Patrick Roy comes in and kind of gets them playing a more balanced style, because I feel like they're either one extreme or the other, and that doesn't help their goaltending ever. So I'm hoping Patrick Roy does great there, because I just like seeing Patrick Roy in the league. I think he belongs behind a bench, and yeah, he's good for the Islanders. I do want to mention Braden kind of got screwed this weekend. Ottinger just comes back from injury, and then he falls ill, and Wedgwood starts Saturday and Sunday. I don't think it'll have made a big difference because Braden is still Braden, but when your team is going through some hard times and the hard times don't ease up, you feel for the guy a little bit.
Yeah.
But good news, in a few weeks he'll be playing Derek again. Derek, who's in 15th place, and the only guy he's got a point against. So Stat Guy came through and advised us it was week 4 for those who missed it. It was week 4 he played Derek.
Oh, damn.
Got his point. So Stat Guy, good old Stat Guy. I know this week we won't ask him anything because he's got to enjoy his vacation. He needs to get away.
That's it. He's got to smoke some joints while he's in Jamaica, man.
Yeah, you know what? Like I've never been to Jamaica, but I heard like there's so much of it there that once you walk off the plane, they're handing it to you. Here, take this.
I've heard that too.
Please smoke this.
I hear like they just have in the hotel rooms. They just have like stashes in the hotel rooms.
Which makes sense if it's legal there, and it's just like I have so much of it, right? You think of all inclusives you go to, and it's like they have alcohol everywhere for you. Well, there it's just weed.
Nice.
Hatches O'Hooligan. This guy finally changes his name. I love the dodgeball reference, and I love that he has the wrench in the picture because everyone knows if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. 7-7-1 now, climbs into a playoff spot, knocking out mentally Bedarded here, down to 7-8 in 11th. What happened here?
Yeah, this is a pretty tight match, despite the 9-4 score. You know, they tied in power play, points, game-winning goals. The save percentage, it was 9-1-3 versus a 9-1-5. GA is 2-6-3 versus 2-5-7. Super tight week. Could have went either way, but Patches managed to just move past Kyle. Overall, I mean, they didn't put up any sort of crazy numbers, either one of them. They both had, I'd say, average weeks, but Kyle had 7 less man games, and that probably affected him a little bit at the end of the week.
Yeah, I imagine it did. I did hear some good news for Kyle. In the rumors are that Bedard is starting to skate and whatnot. So that's good news that he might be back shortly after the break. Probably wear full face guard, right, with a broken jaw. So. But that's good news for his team. He needs him back. He is his star player. I know he's got Mitch Marner, Eichel, who's also out right now. Just had surgery. So Kyle's team is hurting a little bit.
What I did notice is that Corey Perry has snuck back into the lead while Connor Bedard's been away.
That's right. Just like he snuck into his mom's DMs when he was away.
Yeah. It's probably not as fun to sneak in the mom's DMs when Connor Bedard's at home and recouping from an injury and his mom's looking after him.
Yeah. Well, he can't say anything. He's got a broken jaw. But
Unlike Connor Bedard's mom.
that's right. She's got a sore one, right? Uh, Sauce Pass. Getting back into the win column here. I think he won last week, but it's back-to-back weeks now. 9-6 in fourth place. Defeating fantasy football is over. 4-9-2. Derek made a bold announcement yesterday, saying that he was going to sell everything if he lost this week. So it looks like someone has finally declared themselves as a seller. I imagine he's got all kinds of offers sitting there that he's going to sort through. But what happened this week?
Yeah, I mean, we'll actually have trades to talk about next week.
I think so.
Yeah, crazy. Derek had a pretty decent goaltending week, but Corey's players just dominated. And yeah, taking 7 of his 8 points from player stats with some decent player numbers. And that was enough to take the week.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, right? It looked close yesterday. I think it was like 7-5, and Derek had like an army of Detroit Red Wings going. But they didn't do enough to change.
No, and there's such a disparity in the player numbers that it didn't really matter.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next section, I would like to review last week's predictions. This was probably our best week ever. As you went 8 for 8. Congratulations. I went 6 for 8.
Nice.
That's pretty close. Like we got combined, we had 2 wrong.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
I mean, the way I like to see it is that I was 100% right.
Yeah.
And you were 75% right.
I just made some bad predictions.
Yeah, I mean, you bet on yourself.
I always bet on myself. Always. Like that's a bad choice. I have 4 losses all year. 4.
It was tough one though. It was close.
Was just talking about we were talking about power play with one of these matchups, but something that I thought was crazy. Nick and I both had a lot of goals and assists. I only had 3 power play points out of all mine.
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up. I was because when I looked at your score earlier, it's like holy moly, man! Like, how do you have all these points but only 3 power play points? And especially like some of your some of your guys are big power play players. It's just not something that happened for you last week.
Nope. I lose the power play points category sometimes, right? But I don't get killed in it like 12-3. Like that's
yeah, it's a bit ridiculous.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Is that of all those goals and assists I had, only 3 were on the power play.
Yeah, no, that was very interesting, very unusual.
We have one trade to talk about, and it wasn't even like a 1-round pickup grade. It was literally Domo trying to recuperate a draft pick that he could trade later. And he said, Sogard to the highest bidder. And he got a 4-round upgrade. He got a 13th for Sogard and a 17th from Bedarded. And Sogard played yesterday, right? So he was the goalie going in. I thought it was funny because then this trade went through around noon. The game started at 1, and a little after 1, Plums puts in the message chat there that he forgot to start him.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
So a little bit of a gaffe there, but
it didn't affect his outcome.
It did not affect his outcome. But I don't know if he holds on to him for long term. He paid enough for him. Maybe he plans on using him for a bit. But
yeah, maybe.
Good move for Domo. He's got a pick now that he can move later on, which we know
definitely.
He'll move it this week. So not much to talk about because of that, because our league doesn't trade anymore. We don't believe in it.
Definitely.
We got some matchups though this week that'll be interesting, especially this is my favorite time is when we start that second rotation because now you kind of have a better understanding of how you match up against the league, and you're gonna start to see teams drop out because now they're gonna be like, "Am I gonna make the playoffs?" And luckily for me this week, I'm playing a guy who probably isn't making the playoffs. So Team Ramrod this week has a little bit of a light schedule. The Champion 9-4-2 in third place, taking on the NA Goalie Paradise at 6-9 in 14th. Who do you got, Kyle?
Yeah, you know what? This week is kind of like a light schedule. I don't think there's a lot of hard picks for us in predictions.
Hard in the
Obviously,
upsets.
you know, I it would be rare for me to go against you 2 weeks in a row. I can't do that, so I'll have to go with you this week.
And I appreciate that confidence that you think I can beat Casey. Um, I'm pretty sure Team Ramrod's coming away with this. Is it? I'm not sure though if it's this week. It's probably next week. That's the double week. So I think next weekend is the All Star break.
Yeah, that's coming up.
So I think next week will be a double week.
Mm.
So be careful, everyone, because it's coming. Because All Star Weekend is the third. I
And
think.
our other hockey league this week is a double week.
Is it?
Yeah, because when I said it in the other league this morning, it said 11 lineups.
Let me take a quick look here. What we got here? Let me set my lineup. Rest of week. No, not on this one.
Yeah, so next week will be the double in this one, but in our elite, for those who are in the elite, this week is the double week.
Good to know. If you're not in it, you're not elite, bud. No, just it's a whole different thing. For those who don't know, it's a dynasty league. You keep everything, so it's a little different. But yeah, Tage against the Machine, 10-5 in second, taking on Mentally Bedarded, 7-8 in 11th place. So, like you said, it looks like a one-sided schedule, but these are big matches for those guys who are on the weaker side of it, who are not in the playoff spot. Big chance to slow someone at the top down and maybe catch up to some other guys, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of the guys you're competing with are going to lose. Um, so, who you got here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Travis. I think there's really no surprise there.
This is Travis's number one fan.
Yeah,
He
number
likes
one.
Travis even more than Travis does.
Love you long time.
No, I'm going to agree with you. I think Travis is going to take it this week. Mentally, Bedard has a lot of injuries, and I don't think he has the players around those injuries to get around it.
No.
It's all his star players are the ones that are injured,
Oh, even better.
right? It's Bedard, it's Eichel, like those are your keeper base, and they're the ones that are injured. So I think it's gonna be a tough week for him. Uh, is it impossible that he wins? No, I don't think so. Unlikely though is my mindset. I think you might see in the next couple weeks, Plums might throw in the towel for this season, and if he does, he had a great season. Like he did a lot for his team. Picking up better keeper base. So I think he's in a better spot than he has been over the last few years.
I
Uh,
agree.
and a fresh start next season might be right what he needs with his better keeper base. I'm not counting him out yet. I'm not speaking for him. I don't know if he is going to throw in the towel. I suspect when you're in 11th place, if you continue to lose, you're probably going to throw in the towel at one point. Um, I say that, but he's only a couple points out of eighth, right? So
1 point out of 8.
yeah, I'm not saying he should throw in the towel. I'm saying I could see it should he continue to lose, especially with the injuries he has right now. It
It
might be
it
something to
really
consider.
it really depends on what your schedule is coming up, right?
Yeah,
And like that's why I haven't thrown the towel in yet because I'm looking at my schedule. As long as if I can pull off a win this week, then I feel fairly confident that I can make the playoffs. But it's gonna for me this week is the hinge on whether I stay or go.
we look at it, and we're February 21st. It's still a month away. Everyone has about 3 matchups left before they have to make that decision, right? So there's
Yeah,
time for people to kind of wait around to see what happens. You don't know who's going to lose. So all these other teams that you're competing with, they might start losing. And so even if you lose, you're not losing ground and you might still be in there. There's a lot of different scenarios, right? So Sorokin, these nuts. 8-6-1 in sixth place in Jamaica, taking on Shane's bitch. 7-8, and he's in 10th place. Who do you got here?
Oh, this is a tough one, man. Um, I feel like Neil definitely has a bit of an edge, but he's in Jamaica. How much is he paying attention? Um, you know, and yeah, Shane's bitch is 7-8, but he lost his first 5 weeks, right? So
Who's playing those guys again?
true, true. But really, he's like 7-3 in his last 10, you know? And he had a pretty good week last week. And oh, I think I'm gonna go with Shane's bitch.
I find these are the matchups, just like me versus Nick. Like these guys, when they play each other, it's interesting because one has Zibanejad, one has Panarin. Like you have guys who are playing together, right? So like, they're almost negating the other guy, right? You're if he's getting a point, I'm probably getting a point. But
That's it.
I'm gonna go with Neil. I think his goalies are gonna bounce back this week. Again, Patrick Roy being your head coach, you're one of the top goalies in the league, under the one of the top goalies in history. Uh, I think you might pick up a couple tricks or two and just better like improve your play a little bit, right? I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to Neil. Um, yeah, and fuck it, Sean's just Shane's bitch. Like he's nothing this year. He needs to give up and sell, which I think he's on the verge of. But I think a loss to Neil might accelerate that a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of feel like anybody who's because there's about 4 or 5 of us tied for ninth place right now. I feel like anybody who's there and loses this week is probably gonna be in the sellers market.
Unless they
Very,
all do.
yeah,
They all lose, and eighth place loses.
yeah. You never know, never know.
We'll have to see what the
Although
standings look like
eight,
at the end
eight,
of the week.
eighth place is
Eight's
playing
not good.
Braden.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
eight's gonna win. There'll be a new eighth. Daltrey, 7-8 in ninth place, taking on fantasy football is over. 4-9-2 in 15th. Look at Derek. He comes back just in time to sell. Who do you got here?
Hopefully he starts his guys, but I'm gonna go with Daltrey.
Yeah, I understand why you're doing it because I have hard time putting faith in a guy who is about to sell.
Yeah,
You know,
like
even if
he's gonna.
Daltrey sets his lineup half the time, he's probably going to win.
Yeah, that's it, right? As of tomorrow, at some point, Derek is gonna lose most of his value, right?
Yeah, I like how he did. I must say, I do like what he did. He said, "I am accepting trade offers, and I will sort through it tomorrow and accept the best deals that he can get." He's not dicking around. He's telling you, "Send me your best offers."
There you go.
You know, I'm not
Steven
gonna nickel and
Stamkos.
dime you. Send me what you're willing to pay, and if it's the best offer, you'll get that player.
Yes, sir.
I like that because then you're forcing someone to offer something they might not normally offer right away.
Yeah, well, it's like bidding for a house, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah, exactly, exactly. You got to give a significant offer,
for
or
them to
you're
look
just
at
not
it.
going to get it.
Yeah.
Forgot about Dre, 11-3-1 in first place, taking on the dumpster fire at 6-7-2 in 12th place. Who do you have here?
Dre. Not
No
even a question.
hesitation.
Zero.
I
I think
agree.
this, I think this is the end of the dumpster fire after this week.
Yeah, I think he'll be officially pulling out. Like he's just gonna go burn off in the dumpster in the alley, and
Yeah.
hopefully get some pieces that he needs
Yeah.
to rebuild. Right. I like what he's doing. in the sense that he wants to put his own stamp on the team. So he's not afraid to make big moves. But will he make the right moves? Who knows, right? Who knows how these deals are going to pan out until years later?
That's it.
Sometimes you get a hot rookie and you hold on to them and they pan out, and sometimes they don't.
And sometimes you're an idiot who drops McKinnon back into the fucking player pool.
When you had an off year and you're like, I don't know about him.
Yeah, that's it.
And now Daltrey's like, I'll take him and I'll sit him on a bench. Wild Husky Hockey. You know what? He tried to rebrand this year, Braden, and it did not work for him. He needs to find a name that works. But Wild Husky Hockey, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Like, why are you Wild Husky Hockey?
I feel like he should be the league's bitch.
Yeah, you should just be the bottom feeder. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Or just go Braden bye week.
yeah, that's what it should be. Braden bye week. That's your team
Braden
name,
bye.
Braden.
Yeah. Until he proves otherwise.
I'm gonna suggest that. I'm gonna message him and suggest that he changes his name to the Braden bye week.
Or maybe
He
that
would
should be
have
a
a great
punishment
time
for
with it.
finishing last place. We get to name their team.
Oh, ooh, that's an interesting proposal. I think we should take a vote on that. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun punishment to go along with the trophy. Um, everyone, if you have any feedback on that idea, I think it's great as a punishment. The how about the champion gets to rename their team?
Oh, that'd be great. A
So
little reward and a little punishment.
yeah, I like that. So if anyone wants to throw in their opinion on that, we're proposing that hey, if you win the league, you get to rename the bottom team to whatever you want. I think that's a great idea.
I think so too.
There's going to be some disgusting names out there that no one wants to be called. And, and it might motivate some people not to finish last, right?
Oh yeah.
He's 0-14-1, keeping the hope alive that he'll have the worst season in league history. He even posted it today that he's having a historically bad year. He's taking on Patches O'Hooligan. I don't know if he can dodge this wrench though. 7-1 in eighth place. Who do you got here?
Oh yeah. No, he's not dodging any wrenches. Patches is gonna hit him full in the face with that wrench.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm never gonna vote for the Braden bye week. So
Well, I already did once, and that was a terrible mistake.
yeah, I've done it occasionally, but then I realized how bad his team was, and I'm like, no, I can't do it now. I
Yeah,
can't vote for a guy who has 1 point after 15 weeks.
not happening.
CC Pass, 9-6 in fourth place. This is probably our standing wise closest matchup. Taking on the seventh place Captain Crunch, who's 8-7. Who do you have here?
Oh, this is gonna be a tight week. I don't know. Um, I honestly I don't have a lot of confidence in Corey's team,
Oh,
so I'm gonna go with Captain Crunch.
shots fired, Corey. I think Domo will do what he can to win, but I think Corey's team is just better than Domo's, and um, yeah, I think he has more to work with, especially if people are starting to sell. I think he'll be a little aggressive out there.
Yeah, that is a good point and a good possibility. I'm still sticking with my pick, but I could see Corey picking up a piece or two this week and really boosting his team.
Zvetch me a drink, 9-6 in fifth place, taking on Team Rocket, 6-7-2 and 13th. Who do you have?
I'd say my only downfall this week is that my one of my main goalies is down, and my goaltending isn't as good as usual. However, I'm playing Dan, so that might not be a big deal. So because he has some of the worst goaltending in the league. Um, so I think I'll be fine. I'm going to pick myself to win. You know, Dan was what, like 5-1. If, you know, he's what, like 4-5 in his last 9 weeks, got a losing record. I don't have a lot of confidence in him, and I have confidence that my team can pull this off this week.
I imagine like what would happen to Dan who actually got, you know, the balls and pulled the trigger on that Hellebuck deal and paid a little more. Like his team would be fantastic, right? Goaltending is his only weakness, in my opinion. I think he probably regrets that a little bit right now. Um, Not stepping up to grab like one of the top goalies in the league, right? But I still think he's going to beat you. And I'm basing that just because, he did exceptionally well against the early part of the schedule early in the season. And like you said, you don't have your star goalie. Can you rely on your goaltending? Probably not. Can he rely on his? Probably not. But I think his skaters are going to do a lot of damage out there.
Mm,
That yours won't. I just think I just giving him the edge because he's a higher ranked team. I'm a ranking slave this week.
I guess so. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this pans out.
I think that's the only one we went different.
No, we went different
Oh,
on
Sean
Neil's
and
as
Neil.
well.
Sean and Neil.
Oh, did you pick Corey over Domo?
Oh, I picked Corey. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got three different ones here.
Did I not say that? I thought I said it. Oh, I picked Corey. I
Yeah,
was picking Corey.
I was just double checking.
Yeah. So yeah, a few different. We'll see who has the better record this week. I'm gonna be curious at the end, out of curiosity to see who has the better percentage, right? At the end.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always fun.
I mean that 8-8 one. I think that's only the second time that's happened in the years that we've been doing this.
It's extremely rare.
It's extremely rare. Did you want to go over standings? Because I think we have a few minutes, and we've been once through the league.
We've got 2 minutes, so we have time to go over the standings. Standings. So we'll start at the top here. We got Dre with 23 points. So he's got a good cushion on second place. Because second and third both have 20 points. And that's myself and TVT, not in the order I just presented it. You got Corey and Dan tied at 18 points, who are holding the fourth and fifth spot. Neil with 17 points is holding the sixth spot alone. Captain Crunch or Domo sitting in seventh alone at 16 points. Patches holding on to eighth with 15 points solo. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 teams tied at 14 points for ninth. So there's still a lot that those 5 teams can do to get in, right? Then you got a drop off. Casey, 12 points. A better season he had last year, I believe, already. But
Yeah,
sitting 14th. Derek, 10 points and 15th. Braden doesn't matter, 1 point. Last place. But we have less than a minute, so we're gonna have to end this. I do thank you for your time, buddy.
yeah, my pleasure.
Everyone, remember, give us your input on the first place, naming the last place's team. I think it would be fun. But good luck this week to everyone, except for you, Casey. Go fuck yourself.